Coach Denbrock mentioned Monday that he had a conversation with you about kind of becoming the old DeShone, like at Virginia, running down the field, arms in the air, showing a lot of emotion. Is it important to add that back to your game?
I don't necessarily think that it's been removed. I am who I am, and it's easy to run down. It's easy to run down the field and have your hands up when you're winning games. That's the easiest way to put it. It's not fun to lose, and I'm not going to go out there and pretend as if it is. I do believe that style of energy needs to come out every day of the week rather than just in positions when we're winning, and I think that those vibes will kind of linger throughout the team and have a positive attitude that allows us to play better ball. So yeah, I definitely need to reach back in and have some fun, and that's kind of the ultimate goal this week, is to have some fun and just play the game that I love, and hopefully you'll see a little more of that, because if we are out there having fun and playing in the way we know how to, we'll go out and we'll start winning games, and those smiles and those moments will come back.
And this is right now one of the higher scoring Notre Dame teams in history. As you try to get this team a victory once again, do you have to guard against pressing and trying to do too much at times?
No. This at this university under Coach Kelly, within this offense, there's a lot that's put on the quarterback, and we all know it, and that's enough. And that's what I have to understand, and I think I do understand, is that I don't need to take on any more than what they give me, because they already give me a lot. And that's kind of my mentality heading into this week, is to play free, to have fun. I get the opportunity to be the quarterback of the University of Notre Dame. That is a privilege that people they dream about, that I dreamed about, and I took the fun out of that. And that's my biggest regret in the first 4 games, is that I had so much love for this position, love for this team, that I took on a lot more than I ever should, which put a lot of pressure on my back. And that's something that I'm going to have to remove and go back to just doing what I love and having a good time. And when I'm doing that, that's where we're playing our best ball as a team. And I believe that our whole team is buying into that understanding and buying into that idea. And practice yesterday was a blast. It was a good time to go out there and play football, to play free and to have a good time. And today's practice will be the same. Saturday will be the same. And there will be a W on that column when we go out there and we play the way we know how to.
Sean, in that same line, how do you balance playing free and loose when there obviously is a lot of pressure when you're 1-3 at Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's not used to being in that position?
You balance it by taking the responsibility given to you and not adding any extra to it. Like I said, this position here in this offense has already handled a lot, and I'm going to take those responsibilities that are given to me, do the best I can with them, and that's it. There's no more to it. That's where I found my biggest flaw in that first 4 games, and even going back into the last season, the last 2, I think that I saw this position as a lot bigger than what it was, and try to take on way too many things. Now it's just about going out and playing. There's so many worries that you can add to this. There's so many things that you can build on your shoulders if you think you have big shoulders to do it. But to me, I think that my biggest thing that I need to focus on moving forward is to just go out and play and just execute what's being told to me, and trust in their leadership, and trust that what they're saying that I need to do is exactly what I do need to do, and nothing more and nothing less.
Coach Kelly's talked a lot in the last couple of days about a standard of play and how you haven't met that standard recently. How close or far away do you think you are to that standard, and what needs to change?
Standards, that's a topic in which I believe is something that is completely personal for myself, because there's no standard out there from Coach Kelly, from the fan base, from my teams that's going to be higher than mine. I'm substandard to my own standards, and that's all that matters. And if I can go out and attempt to stay above that standard of my own, then we'll be fine. Substandard is a term that kind of grasps, each and every rep. You can look at substandard and look at it from game to game, from season to season, from rep to rep. For me, my goal is just to play the best I can and to represent my quarterback room and the offense the best I can. And the standards that I'll have will always be a lot higher than anyone else's, and that's all that matters. I just got to go out and play better ball.
Tangibly, what would that standard, I guess, consist of? Some of us will look at 300 yards passing and say, "Oh, he played great," and you'll come in and say, "I didn't play well."
Standards there isn't a set law. There isn't me sitting here saying, "Hey, look, here's all 525 things I need to do today to be above standards." Standards is going out there and just simply executing. If we are 4-0 right now, standards are met to a certain extent because we won 4 games. If I throw for 500 yards, standards are met to a certain extent, but there's so many other things that go into that we all see now that cause this to be below standard. And to sit here and define it and try to focus up on those would be a mistake on my part, because by focusing up on things that aren't, relevant to us winning a game is not good for the team. All I need to do, my standard right now, is to do whatever I can to help lead the offense to get a win. We're 1-3, and it's unacceptable. And my only goal right now, my only mission, is to buy into everything that's been said in this meeting room right here to get a W on the board, because that's all that matters at this point.
I was curious, you're obviously in the meeting rooms with the Montgomery Van Quarter. It can't be easy working for the school that just fired your father. Have you guys said anything to him? How has he kind of handled the last couple of weeks?
Montgomery is my best friend on this campus, and it's definitely a rough situation, but that kid is a really strong guy, and he's focused up on doing whatever he can right now to help Notre Dame win. That issue is something that we'll keep to ourselves, and he's done a good job within the last few days of focusing up on his job, and I know that he'll go out and give his best efforts to contribute to us, improving and getting a win.
Thanks.
DeShone, over here, talking about the standards, is that something you've always had? You've always set high standards for yourself going back to high school, grammar school?
Yeah, like everyone. I mean, we all have standards. You guys have standards on what you want to put down on paper and how you want to go out and do your job. And I know that each and every one of us push ourselves to be the best person we can be. So yeah, I've always had very high standards for myself, and I'm never satisfied. That's the best part about playing sport in general. The challenge that there's always something better you can do. There's no such thing as perfection in football. So, to a certain extent, the standards are never met unless you have a ring on and you're undefeated. That's kind of the only goal. For me, I want to do whatever I can to help this team win. And for now, instead of focusing up on 1,000 different things, all I want to do is to see the smile on my teammates' face and on our coaching staff's face after we get a W this weekend. And from there, we'll move forward. Standard right now is simply getting a W.
For you personally, handling, being a 1-3, being on a 1-3 team, how have you kind of approached it? Is it, just kind of like you said, with always trying to meet that high standard, always trying to get to that point to where you guys do win games, or how have you kind of approached where you guys are right now?
One thing that I've taken away from kind of evaluating this rocky start is that I need to just focus up on, today. What can I do today? What are the things that I can control? And right now, what I can control is my attitude, my effort, and my relationships with my teammates. And that's what's going to hopefully prepare us to get a W. I think I misspoke after the game saying that we need to find more guys with passion, we need to find more guys with fire and energy, because I believe that maybe our biggest issue is that we're too passionate. We love this game too much, therefore we're all trying to take on responsibility ourselves and put too much on our back. That's Notre Dame's biggest issue, is that my teammates love me too much, and that's going to allow them to go out there and play tense. They're not playing free. We're not playing free. We're not having fun. We're not in the past 4 games, we're out there completely grinding for something other than to represent ourselves, represent our families, and represent Notre Dame and trying to get W's. And I think that that goes to show that this locker room is a bunch of high-caliber guys who understand things at a higher level. And with that, they took on more responsibility than ever needed to. Yesterday's practice and the mindset of the team right now is one that is taking away that stress, that added stress that we don't need. We just want to go out and have a good time now and do whatever we can to get wins. There's a lot more on the line now than just trying to accomplish a long-term mission. Right now we're focused up on today, how we can control ourselves and how we can control our attitudes and efforts moving forward to get a W.
I think you kind of mentioned it, but do you feel like, when you're 1-3 that you're trying to do things that are out of your control sometimes on Saturdays or even, during practice during the week?
No. Right now, the mentality is that we hit a rough patch. We had a rough start. That start is over. We're 0-0 this week. We're just trying to go 1-0 this week. And with that, once again, we focused up on Sunday on how do we eliminate all the things that have happened in the beginning and focus up on how we can get better today and how we can have the right approach to go and be successful today and to better ourselves to try to get a win against Syracuse.
I know you being an offensive guy, but when Coach Kelly told you guys as a team that he had fired Coach Van Gorder, what was sort of your reaction to that?
We lost a great coach, a great football mind. We all know that Coach Van Gorder is a guy who understands defense unlike anyone else. He's very good at some of the things he does. But there's a lot more to this game than understanding defenses. There's a lot more to this game than what I'm trying to say here is yes, we lost a great coach, but things needed to happen for us to move forward. Coach Kelly makes the decisions. We trust in whatever he has to say, and moving forward, we'll make the adjustments that need to be made on the offensive side of the ball to pick up our defense and to start playing games and getting W's.
DeShone, over here. Just curious, what are your interactions like with Coach Kelly on the sidelines in the last couple of weeks, specifically when things are maybe not going that well? Is it give and take? Do you feel like you just have to listen? Does he want input? Does he just want to blow off steam? What's that interaction like?
It's different from rep to rep, drive to drive. If you're playing well, it's great. If you're playing bad, it's not so great. Coach Kelly and I have great communication skills on the sideline, and I think that that's one of our best attributes to our coach-to-player relationship is that when I come off to the sideline, we're able to get things done. And that's something that not a lot of guys are able to do at the college level without the iPads, without the pictures that come from up top. It's hard to communicate on the sideline and get the looks and make the adjustments, and we do a really good job with it. And I believe that we're really productive in making sure we make adjustments within games. When we're not doing so hot, there's a lot more negativity that comes into those conversations, but at the end of those conversations, there's definitely always productivity moving forward within the game, and we'll continue to have that productivity in our communication on the sidelines, and put together some more successful drives.
I mean, when you hear him get up here and say, "I think I'm going to be more animated. I'm going to be more passionate on the sideline," how does that strike you? Is it like more than already? How do you react to that?
There's a million different ways of getting a point across, but as long as the point is getting across, then that's all that matters. Whether he's more animated or if he comes in a monotone point of view, as long as we're communicating the right thing and we're getting a message across and we figure out a way of improving upon the last drive before and learning what the defense is doing and what their game plan is and properly reacting to that adjustment that the defense made, we're going to put up points. And however he decides to go about his communications on the sideline, as long as we're able to get the right message and it accurately gets across to all 11 guys who are going out on the offensive side of the ball, then we'll be fine.
And just also in the run game, he said he wants to get away from you essentially having as many carries as you do down there, like just to take some hits off you, maybe no more spin moves, things like that. Does that have a sort of accumulating effect on you in the course of the game? I mean, are you feeling that spin move shot to the kidneys in the fourth quarter that you take in the second quarter?
Well, I mean, I shouldn't be spinning at all. I'm 6'5", 240 pounds. There's no reason for me to be out there trying to be C.J. Sanders with the ball in my hand. But with that, it's game plans are game plans. When you have a quarterback who's able to carry the ball, defensive coordinators have to adjust to it, and you add an extra hat to block. When the time is needed, I know that they're going to call the quarterback-driven runs that we need to. If the defense allows us to step away from me carrying the ball a couple extra times a game, then I'm sure we won't have to. At this point, like I said, it's all about just doing whatever it takes to get a win, and I'm going to go out and try to execute whatever they call. So if it is me carrying the ball 30 times a game, hey, give it to me. Let's go. I'll be a running back if I have to. If it requires me, changing my role on the offensive side and whatever they choose is what I'm going to have to do. Coach Kelly, if he says that, we're going to take the ball out of my hands rushing a little more, then that means that's probably going to be a couple more passes that I'm going to have to execute. So as long as I'm executing whatever they're calling from the sideline, I trust that we're going to go out and get wins.
I ask that only in the sense, like, when you're taking hits, does that affect you as a passer later?
No, not at all. Not at all. That's what we spend all offseason doing is getting our bodies together to take those hits. It does add a little more stress to the beginning of the week when you're trying to get yourself back to normal. You take a couple more bumps and bruises, but that's a part of the game.
Hey, DeShone. So Kelly obviously has said multiple times this week that everybody's job is basically on the line. But then you kind of characterized practice yesterday as being a blast. So when he says that everybody's job is on the line, how is everybody able to kind of play more free and easy when you kind of have that in the back of your mind?
Because that's sport. That's competition. That's a part of it. What's fun is the fact that we do have to go out and compete. What's fun is that there's an opportunity for us to go out and take everything that we've ever done and all the experiences that we have in the past and put them to show each day at practice. I mean, at my position, it's obvious. We have 3 of the best quarterbacks in the country in my meeting room. And what's the best part about it is that I get to go out and I get to compete against those guys. There's no walk in the park for me. Every day is a grind when you have Malik Jacksons and Brandon Wimbush behind you. And what we learned is that competition is where we have to find our good times. When we go out and we do one-on-ones and we take each rep and go against great defenders with our great athletes on offense, you have to find the enjoyment of competing. And that's what we did yesterday and that we will continue to do. There's a culture change that quickly happened in this week, and I truly believe that we're going to buy into that and have it kind of push us onward to get some wins on the board.
DeShone, to your right, I just have one for you. With Malik's situation, Coach Kelly said it was still kind of evolving. Can you kind of speak to what you've seen out of him the past couple weeks? And I know he had that new role on Saturday. What his role is now?
I think that from week to week, we game plan to get our best athletes on the field, and last week that was the best way to get our best athletes on the field was to get Malik a couple carries. I think Malik's position right now is as a senior on a Notre Dame football team is to help lead and help compete as much as he can. I can't speak to how he's going about it or how he feels his role is, but for me, he's pushing me every day. His energy is something that challenges my energy. He's given me kind of a example of how I need to go out and how I need to approach some of the younger guys on the team. He's been through, football at Notre Dame an extra year than I have, and he's seen more than I have. And through his experiences, he's able to, come out and challenge me and challenge the team to get out of this, rocky start.
DeShone, right here. In fall camp, when you won the job, you told us that your confidence was soaring at that point. I'm just wondering, at this point, is your belief in that same place that it was then?
Absolutely. I'm throwing the ball well. I'm seeing defense as well. I'm trusting in my guys. on the offensive side of the ball, we have some really good stuff up and going, and we haven't come near where we can go, and that potential is what's fueling us to go out and compete and to get better each week, and to go out and put up 5 to 6 touchdowns a game, knowing that you can go and put up 4 more, is what allows us to go into practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to do whatever we can to figure out how we're going to execute more, to score every time we touch the ball. We don't want to punt the ball. We know we have the ability to score every drive, and we have the confidence that we are going to. So that's why you see so much defeat on our faces when we drive down for 5-6 plays and we don't end up with points on the board, because we know that with the guys that we have and with the coaching staff that we have and the game plans we put together, we should score every drive. So now our goal is to kind of lift that weight off of us, have some fun, execute the play that's being called, and we're going to see hopefully a couple more touchdowns a game, and we're going to see guys who are out there truly loving one another and a family style mindset on the offensive side of the ball to get up some more points and win some games.
DeShone, you were talking earlier about taking too much on. What were you trying to do, or was it just mentally something you're doing, or physically were you trying to do too much?
Yeah, at the quarterback position, you naturally take on an extra dose of leadership, an extra dose of trying to take on everything that a coach should be taking on. You go and you idolize guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and all the best who've ever done it, and you see how they approach the media. You see how they approach the game. You see how they approach their team, and they're professionals. They get paid to do that. They are in completely different positions than I am, and therefore they take on a little more responsibility than I do. But me being the kid that I am, I wanted to be like them. I wanted to come up here and talk to you guys as if I was the head coach of this team. But I'm just the quarterback. All I got to do is go out and do whatever the guys upstairs are telling me to do, and that's it. If Coach Kelly asked me to come do media, I do media. If Coach Kelly asked me to go throw a touchdown, I need to go out there and rip the ball and throw a touchdown. I don't need to do anything more than that, and that's where I think that I remove myself. That's where I think that's my biggest flaw in the beginning of the season is taking on too much. I just need to go out and play and have fun, challenge myself each day, and just try to get better. Right now, all I have is today's practice. If I can just focus in on how I can get better in today's practice, then I'll be a better quarterback tomorrow, and hopefully being a better quarterback tomorrow will lead me into winning a game Saturday.
And talk about getting better. What are you focused on right now? What do you think you have to get better on immediately?
My attitude. I need to have fun. I need to play loose. I need to play free. Everyone goes back to that touchdown against Virginia, that smile on my face, me going down and cheering with my teammates. Those are the best times of my life, and I need to get back to those moments. And to do that, I need to focus my attitude up on how can I get better today so we can score more touchdowns, win more games, so I can have some more fun with my brothers.
And obviously, it's one of the big differences. Last year you guys came up with those big plays at the end. You've been scoring, a lot of points, but at the end you haven't been. At the end of the game, you haven't been making those plays. What has been the biggest obstacles to coming up with those big plays at the end of the game?
Overthinking some things. We get into those 2-minute situations, and you try to imagine those times where we were successful last season, and they get to the back of your mind, and you're ready to roll with it. But then all of a sudden they throw a new look at you, and you start overthinking some things. You lose your mechanics. You might rush some things, and you got to shy away from that. And my biggest issue in those 2-minute situations is that we're behind the chains too early. We're behind the chains before we even get to the 50-yard line because I'm missing throws on first and second down. When you're in 2-minute drills, it's all about just getting the next first down so we can keep pushing, getting the clock stopped, and getting near the touchdown so we can score. When you come out and you miss a field hitch throw that would put you at 2nd and 2, and now you're going out at 3rd and 10 and trying to make something happen at the end of the drive, you got to shy away from those moments. And to do that, I got to focus in on my fundamentals, trust in what I see, and rip the ball.